Hey everyone, welcome back to the show. I'm James, and today we're diving into a fascinating topic that might just change the way you think about money. You know, money has so many different names and meanings depending on the context. It's like a chameleon, right? It adapts to its environment.
Oh, wow, that's so interesting. So, what's the difference between a donation and, say, a fee? I mean, they both involve giving money, right?
Great question. So, a fee is typically something you pay for a service or access to something, like tuition at a school. It's more transactional. I remember when I was in college, I had to pay tuition every semester, and it felt like I was investing in my future. But a donation? That's more about generosity and support without expecting anything in return.
I see. So, what about when you get married? I've heard of this thing called a dowry. Is that like a payment for the bride or something?
Exactly. A dowry is a transfer of parental property, wealth, or money at the marriage of a daughter. It's a tradition in many cultures. I once attended a wedding where the dowry was a significant part of the ceremony, and it was fascinating to see how it brought families together. But then, if things go south in a marriage, you might end up dealing with alimony, which is the money paid to a former spouse after a divorce.
Whoa, that's a lot of money talk. So, if you don't pay your debts, what happens? Like, do you get a scary letter or something?
Haha, yes, that's exactly it. When you have debt and you don't pay it back, it can lead to some serious consequences. You might get those dreaded collection letters, or even worse, your credit score takes a hit. It's like a financial black mark. I remember a friend of mine got into a bit of debt, and it took him years to recover.
Yikes, that sounds intense. So, what about taxes? Like, why do we have to pay those?
Taxes! They're like the price we pay for living in a society. When you support the government, you're paying taxes. It's how we fund public services, infrastructure, and so much more. I once read that if you think of taxes as a way to contribute to the greater good, it can make it a little less painful when you see that deduction on your paycheck.
Right. So, what's the deal with fines? Like, if I get a speeding ticket, is that a fine?
Exactly! A fine is a penalty for breaking the law, like a traffic violation. I remember getting a speeding ticket once, and it felt like I was throwing money out the window. But it's meant to deter bad behavior, right?
Yeah. So, what about pensions? Like, how do you get that?
Great question. A pension is a retirement plan that provides you with income after you stop working, usually after a certain age, like 65. It's like a reward for all those years of hard work. I have a family member who's living comfortably on their pension, and it's such a relief to know they're taken care of.
Wow, that's really cool. So, what's the difference between salary and wage?
Good catch. Salary is typically a fixed amount paid annually, while wage is usually paid hourly or daily. I remember my first job was hourly, and I had to keep track of my hours. It felt like I was clocking in and out of a video game.
Haha, I love that analogy. And what about allowance? Like, is that just for kids?
Yes, an allowance is often given to children as a way to teach them about money management. I remember getting a small allowance as a kid, and it felt like I was rich. It taught me the value of saving and spending wisely.
That's so smart. And what's a loan?
A loan is when you borrow money from a bank or lender, and you have to pay it back with interest. It's like a financial lifeline, but you have to be careful not to drown in debt.
Oh man, that sounds risky. And what about tips? Like, do you have to tip everyone?
Haha, not everyone. But tipping is a way to show appreciation for good service, especially in restaurants. I remember once I left a huge tip for a waiter who went above and beyond, and it felt great to make their day.
That's awesome. And what's a bribe?
A bribe is an illegal payment made to influence someone's actions. It's a slippery slope, and it can lead to serious consequences. I once read about a scandal involving bribery, and it was shocking to see how it affected so many lives.
Wow, that's heavy. So, money really does have a lot of different names and meanings, huh?
Absolutely. It's a complex and fascinating topic, and understanding these different terms can really change your perspective on money. If you enjoyed this discussion, don't forget to like, comment, and share.
Yeah, for sure. I learned so much today. So, until next time, what should we look forward to?
Well, we'll be diving into more intriguing topics that affect our daily lives. Until next time, take care. Bye.
Bye. Can't wait for the next episode.